Welcome everyone. This is a 20-minute Yoga for Beginners session. I'm Lauren and I'm delighted to be with you here today. So for this practice, you'll probably be happy with a blanket to sit on and a couple of blocks if you have them. If you don't have blocks, you can use great big books or anything around home that's sturdy enough that will help to give you a little bit of support and build the ground up to you. We'll look at a few very basic practices today, just a few postures to help open up through the spine and make our legs feel a little bit strong, get a little bit of release through the pelvis, and hopefully come away feeling a little bit better than we did when we first sat down. So please begin by taking a comfortable seat, an easy cross-legged position, and I suggest sitting up on a blanket so that you are creating a little more space for your low back and your pelvis. And then as you take your next breath in, fill yourself completely up and then let out a long, slow exhale through your nose. Do that again, a nice big breath in, really feeling as though you're landing right here where you are. Exhaling and releasing anything that might be in the way of your practice today. One more breath just like that, inhaling, feeling grounded and connected. Exhaling, releasing the clutter of the mind and really arriving present to your practice. And then as you take your next breath, stretch your arms out to the sides. Exhale, lift up your chest, and then inhale, raise your arms all the way up overhead. Bring the palms together. Exhale, turn your hands away from each other and lower down. Inhale, scoop up all of that energy overhead, bring the palms together to touch, and then exhale, turn the palms away from each other and float your arms down. One more time like that. Inhale to draw all the way up, and then exhale to release all the way back down. Take a moment right here, inhaling and exhaling. And then with your next breath, bring the arms up overhead again. As you exhale, take a little twist over to the right, bringing the left hand onto the right thigh, the right hand behind you. As you come to your next breath in, stretch your arms up. Come back through center with your torso. Exhale, take them over to the left, a little twist in the opposite direction. Inhale, bring the arms back up overhead. As you exhale, this time float the right hand down and lean over to the right in a big lateral stretch. Take a good breath into the ribs on the left side. And then push the floor away from you as you inhale your next breath. Float your arm up. Exhale to land your left hand and reach over to the left. A big breath in now to the right ribs. Exhale, be right here. Take another breath in. As you do, lift your arm back up overhead. Bring your palms together to touch. And then exhale, take your hands right down in front of your heart. A nice easy breath in and out here. And then with your next breath, we're going to come onto hands and knees. So flip yourself over. And if you have sensitivity in your knees or your lower legs, don't hesitate to put your blanket underneath them for a little bit of comfort. We'll be here for a couple of moments. Gather your hands right underneath your shoulders so you've got a straight line right down to your wrist crease. Spread your fingers nice and wide. And then look back at your legs and make sure that they're forming the number 11, coming straight down off of your hips. As you inhale, tuck your toes under and draw your belly to the floor. Lift up your sit bones, lift up your gaze. Exhale, untuck your feet and round your spine in the opposite direction. Inhale, tuck the toes, draw the belly down, lift the collarbones and the tailbone. Exhale, untuck the toes and round the belly up. Pull your abdomen to your spine. Take another couple of rounds like that, working with your breath, just to bring a little mobility to the whole of your spinal column. Inhaling into your cow pose. Exhaling to lift the belly into cat pose. Very next inhale, come back to a neutral spine. We'll get ready for our first big posture, downward facing dog. Step your hands forward about a hand length, but keep those fingers spread nice and wide. Tuck your toes under. As you take your next exhaling breath, press your hips a little towards your heels. And then as you inhale, really press firmly into the hands, lift your knees. Exhale, keep pressing into the heels of your hands as you begin to straighten your legs.
So we look towards getting the heels close to the floor, but if they're not there today, that's fine. Just be where you are. Look for some length in your spine, and if you have really tight hamstrings, go ahead and separate your feet a little bit wider, and feel free to bend your knees in favor of stretching your back. A couple of nice breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling, press the forearms towards each other. Lift your hips high and press them back. And then as you're able to, move your thighs back in space, maybe the heels coming a little closer to the earth. We'll take 3 breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more big breath in and out. And then on the next inhalation, slowly lift your head, begin to look forward towards your hands, come up onto your toes, and take many little steps, moving feet towards hands. Bend your knees as deeply as you need to, and then with your next inhalation, once your feet are gathered near your hands, stretch your legs straight, taking your hands onto your shins. If you have the flexibility to easily touch the floor, go ahead. Otherwise, hands on the legs for support. Take an easy inhalation, look a little forward. As you exhale, turn the crown of your head towards the floor and sink down any amount. Inhale, stretch up through the back of your legs, lift your head. Exhale, keep that length on the back of your legs and lower your head back down into the fold. Take a breath right here. Now we'll move our way up to standing. To do that with safety, please bend your knees first. Inhale to take your hands to your hips, and then start to stretch up with your upper chest and back first, lifting your torso, and then slowly begin to straighten your legs, coming all the way up to standing. And we'll arrange ourselves in our mountain pose, Tadasana. So look down towards your feet. Plant your heels, the very center of them. Plant the big toe ball mounds, and then stretch the pinky toe ball mounds out to the sides and be firm into the floor with your feet. As you inhale your next breath, begin to hug your inner thighs towards each other. As you exhale, pull your tailbone down a little bit and your hip points up slightly. As you inhale your next breath, bring your shoulders up towards your ears, and then exhale to move your arms back in space and bring the fingertips down. Take a nice, easy breath in and out. Level your gaze. If it's available to you, close your eyes and just feel connected and strong in the earth. Two more breaths, just noticing the smoothness of your inhalation and the steadiness of your exhalation. One more big breath in and out. And then as you take your next inhalation, please turn to face the long edge of your mat. We'll take our hands onto our hips and then separate the feet pretty wide. So once we get the feet fairly wide, and we're really just looking for a little sense of stretch on the inner thighs, we'll keep hands on the hips, really press into your left leg, come up onto the heel of your right, and spin your toes to point towards the short edge of your mat. Make a little space for your hips by pulling in the toes of your right foot. And then as you take the next breath, extend your arms straight out to the sides. Take a moment here just to establish the strength of your legs. Another in-breath begins a little bit of a movement forward with your arms, and by forward I mean towards that front leg. And then as you exhale, extend even further, and then float your hand down onto your thigh, raise the opposite arm straight up in the air. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Inhale and exhale here. Create a little strength and a corset around your waistline, hugging it in.
One more big breath in and out. And then inhale, take a little bend in your front knee. Bring your arms all the way up. Let's leave them up. Turn the toes of that front foot forward, angle them in a little bit, and then move the toes of the opposite foot towards the short edge of your mat. Nice breath in and out here, feeling strong. And then as you come to the next breath, we start to reach towards the front foot. Exhale, continue the reach, and when you run out of breath, cartwheel your arms, landing your hand on your shin, and stretching your opposite arm straight up into the air. Inhale to lengthen the underside of your body. Exhale, pull the whole waistline in towards the midline. One more breath here. And then on the next inhale, bend that front knee a little bit, press into your foot, come all the way up. Turn both toes to point straight forward. Inhale, extend out through both arms, and then exhale, take an easy fold forward. Hands can come to the earth if that's available to you, or you can let them rest on your legs. Take a big breath in as you exhale. Turn the crown of your head right towards the floor. Inhale and exhale here. And then on the next breath, hands come to the hips, little bend in the knees, push into your feet and lift yourself all the way back up. Take a moment to heel toe the feet back together. Release your hips, stand tall. And then turn to face the short edge of your mat again as you exhale your next breath. Reach down towards the floor. Take yourself onto your hands and knees, and then move your knees back, your hands forward until you come completely down onto your belly. Right away, plug your thighs into the ground, settling the toes down onto the earth. And then with your next breath, slide your hands back so that they're in line with your rib cage and your forearms are perpendicular to the floor. As you exhale, pull your tailbone a little down towards your heels. Keep that engagement in the belly. And then inhale, lift up a little cobra pose, Bhujangasana. If this feels good to you, you can stay right here. A little more to give on your next inhale. Lift up a little higher. The belly is still on the floor. Keep the thighs pressing in. Little more to give. Press in a little more into your tallest cobra. The pelvis is on the earth still. Inhale, draw the hands back towards you without actually moving them. Exhale, firm through the belly. One more breath in here, and then exhale to slowly release all the way down. Let your forehead rest on the earth. Take a breath. Soften your thighs. Inhale and exhale, noticing the heat in your body, the energy running through it. With the next breath, bend both of your knees. Take them to the left and the right a couple of times just to release any tension from the back. And then the feet come back up to point towards the ceiling and then take them down to the floor. As you exhale your next breath, press the ground away from you, coming to your hands and knees. We'll walk the knees a little forward and then come to sit, stretching the legs out in front of you. And here again, I encourage you to sit up on something, and you may want to have your blocks handy. Extend the legs straight forward. As you inhale your next breath, please bend up your right knee, cross it over to the outside of your left leg. Interlace your fingers around your right knee. Inhale, pull yourself tall. Exhale, take an easy twist over to the right. Wrap left elbow around right leg and release your right hand behind you. Inhale and exhale, one more breath. Maybe rotating a little bit more. Very next inhalation, release that. Come all the way back forward. Catch hold of your right leg, uncross and extend it. And then bring up the left. Cross left foot to the outside of the right leg. Interlace your fingers the opposite way around your left knee. Inhale,
get nice and tall. Exhale, start to move your torso and shoulders towards the left. Wrap right elbow around left knee. Release your left hand behind you and let that support you for another breath in the twist. Inhaling to get a little taller. Exhaling, twist a little deeper. On the very next inhalation, please release your hand from behind you. Bring everything back around front. Uncross and extend your legs straight. Take a moment to wiggle onto your sit bones, moving side to side. And then having your bricks handy here, reach for the inner knee of one leg, lift it up, and then take it out to the side, landing the knee on the brick. Do the same thing with the other leg, bringing the soles of your feet together. And you can adjust the bricks, bringing them in closer if you need more support, or further out. If your knees come way down to the ground, you don't need bricks at all, but they can be a really nice support if you're just getting used to this idea. Take hold of both feet in your hands, taking your thumbs to the arches. Inhale, pull your heart a little forward. Exhale, hinging right at the hip flexors. Start to move your torso any amount forward. And for some of us, we're going to be sitting right up, and that's great. As long as we can feel the sensations in the inner thighs and hips, we're doing it right. Take another breath in, squeeze your feet gently towards one another. As you exhale, soften that and move a little deeper. Take another big breath in, exhale. Maybe you can go a little deeper. Maybe you found where you're happiest right now. Honor that. A last breath here. Extend the back of your neck. As you finish your exhale, curl the belly in a little bit towards the spine for some support and lift yourself all the way back up. Reach for your outer knees, bring the legs together, and then shift your bricks out of the way. Come off of your blanket, extend your legs to straight, and come all the way down onto your back for a few moments in Shavasana. Feel free to adjust as you need to, wiggling your shoulder blades underneath you, creating a bit more length on the low back, and then let everything just be soft and easy for a couple of minutes. As you're ready, please begin to deepen your breathing. Invite some movement into the fingers and the toes. Begin to curl the wrists, bending at the elbows. Raise your arms overhead for a nice long body stretch. Make a little sound here. A nice loud yawn might feel great. And then please bend both of your knees. Make your way onto your favorite side, using that arm as a little pillow. And then after a breath there, bring your top hand to the floor. Push the earth away from you and make your way all the way back up to our seated position that we started in. Once you're upright and sitting well, please bring your palms together to touch in front of your heart. Take a nice big breath in. Lift your heart up. And as you exhale, take a little bow inward to your own efforts and outward to all that light in everyone. Namaste.